The luxury suit industry has a secret, and it starts with this. The actual production cost of a €3,000 cashmere jacket sold by one of the most respected luxury houses on earth. €118, roughly $125. That number is not a guess. It comes from a 26-page court ruling out of Milan with internal emails, tech packs, and product samples submitted as evidence. And it points to a much bigger problem hiding inside almost every luxury suit you will ever try on. A problem the industry has spent the last 50 years trying to bury. Today, we are running an autopsy on the modern luxury suit. Not the marketing, not the boutique experience, the actual receipts, the actual stitches. And we are going to prove two things. First, that the price tag on most luxury menswear has nothing to do with what is actually inside the garment. Second, that even at $5,000, what you are often buying is held together with the same industrial glue used to seal cardboard boxes. Let us start with the receipts. In July 2025, an Italian court placed the LVMH-owned cashmere house Loro Piana under judicial administration. According to court documents reviewed by Glossy and the Business of Fashion, Loro Piana's official supplier passed production work to two front companies that had almost no manufacturing capacity of their own. Those firms then handed the actual stitching off to unregistered Chinese-owned workshops on the outskirts of Milan. When police inspected one of those workshops, they found makeshift dormitories built into the factory floor, no fire exits, hazardous machinery, and workers putting in 13-hour days for around €4 an hour, sometimes 90 hours a week. The court-appointed commissioner concluded that Loro Piana could not have been unaware of where its garments were being made. Internal emails, tech packs, size charts, and product samples all confirmed the pieces being assembled in those workshops were destined for Loro Piana stores. And the financial gap, the part that should make every customer of luxury menswear genuinely furious, was laid out in the court ruling itself. The cashmere jackets being assembled in those exploited workshops cost roughly €100 to produce. The same jackets retailed in Loro Piana boutiques for between €1,000 and €3,000. This is a supply chain ethics failure, hiding behind one of the most trusted labels in fashion. Now here's the part most coverage of the Loro Piana case has missed. This isn't an isolated scandal. According to the New York University Stern Center for Business and Human Rights, Loro Piana is the fifth luxury brand placed under judicial administration in Italy in roughly 12 months. The previous four were Dior, Valentino, Armani, and Alviero Martini. Italian prosecutors describe what they've uncovered as a generalized method, not a one-off. 5 separate luxury houses, all using effectively the same playbook, all running it through the same Made in Italy label that customers were paying a premium to trust. So when the menswear influencer in your feed tells you that you're paying for craftsmanship, for heritage, for Italian artisans hand-finishing every seam, court records from at least 5 major houses now say something very different. You're paying for a label. The label is the product. The garment is incidental. But the markup is only half the scam. If you actually cut a luxury suit jacket open, and people have, you find a second deception that's arguably worse than the price tag. Here is how a real suit jacket is supposed to be built. Underneath the outer wool, between the fabric you see and the inner lining, there is a third layer, a skeleton. Tailors call it canvas. It is traditionally a blend of horsehair and cotton or wool cut to the shape of the jacket and stitched in by hand. That canvas inner lining is what gives a suit its drape. The way a good jacket falls naturally off your shoulder, the way the lapel rolls instead of sitting flat, the reason a properly built suit gets better as it molds to your body over time. A full canvas jacket has that skeleton running from the shoulder all the way down to the hem. A half canvas has it through the chest and lapels. Both are sewn in. Both let the jacket breathe, move, and age gracefully. This is the foundation of bespoke tailoring, a craft tradition built on that hand-stitched internal structure. Then there is the third option, fused construction. This is the one the suit industry does not want you thinking about while you are standing in the boutique. In a fused jacket, there is no canvas skeleton. Instead, a sheet of synthetic interlining is glued to the back of the wool shell using heat and adhesive. That is it. The structure of the entire garment is held together by industrial glue. When fused construction first arrived on the scene in the post-war era, it was sold to manufacturers as a labor breakthrough. A skilled tailor needs hours to hand-stitch a canvas. A machine can press a fused jacket together in minutes. Fast, cheap, scalable. Perfect for the budget end of the market, or what we would now call fast fashion construction applied to a suit. The problem is, fused construction did not stay at the budget end. It crept upward. Today, fused jackets are not just sold for $200 at a department store. They are sold for $2,000 under designer labels. Fused construction fails in two ways, and both are ugly. The first is what tailors call bubbling. Every dry cleaning, every steam press, every humid summer day puts stress on the glue. Eventually, the adhesive starts to break down. The wool shell separates from the inner backing in patches, and you get little ripples and blisters across the chest and lapels. There is no fix for it. The jacket is finished. The second is delamination, which is basically the same failure on a larger scale, where entire sections of the shell come unstuck from the body. Both happen on a timeline measured in years, sometimes just 2 or 3 years. Meanwhile, a properly canvassed suit will outlast its owner. Now compare that to what genuine high-end construction actually looks like. Brioni, the Roman house that famously dressed every James Bond from Pierce Brosnan onward, describes its own ready-to-wear process as 220 production steps, around 7,000 handmade stitches, and more than 24 hours of workmanship per jacket. Their bespoke division pushes that number up to over 220 hours of hand-stitching for a single suit. Kiton, the Neapolitan tailoring house and Brioni's great competitor, requires roughly 25 hours of pure handwork on a ready-to-wear suit, with a single hand-embroidered buttonhole alone taking 137 stitches. A genuine Savile Row bespoke commission can run 80 hours of skilled labor or more. That kind of work is the reason a real bespoke suit costs what it costs. The price is not a markup on a label. It is a markup on an actual person sitting at a bench for 3 full working days. So now you have the full picture. On one end, you have houses building suits with 24 to 220 hours of skilled hand construction over a sewn-in canvas skeleton. On the other end, you have luxury labels charging similar prices for jackets glued together by machine, sometimes assembled in unregulated workshops by workers earning €4 an hour. And the customer standing in the boutique has almost no way to tell the two apart by looking at the price tag. Almost no way. There is one test, and it takes about 3 seconds. It is called the pinch test. Reach for the front of the jacket, just below the bottom button. Pinch the outer fabric between 2 fingers of one hand. With your other hand, pinch the inner lining at the same spot. Now gently pull the 2 pinches apart. If you can feel a third independent layer of fabric floating between the outer shell and the inner lining, that is canvas. The jacket is at least half canvassed. If all you feel is 2 layers fused together as if they were one piece, you are holding a glued jacket. Repeat the test up near the chest. If you can feel that floating third layer there too, the jacket is full canvassed. That test does not care about the label. It does not care about the price tag. It does not care what continent the brand insists the jacket was finished on. It tells you what is actually under the fabric. Now let's do the math one more time, because this is where the scam becomes mathematically impossible to defend. A fused suit can be manufactured for somewhere between $50 and $150 per unit at scale, depending on the fabric. The Loro Piana court documents suggest even high-end cashmere outerwear was produced for around $120 in those Italian workshops. A jacket selling for $5,000 is therefore being marked up between 30 and 100 times its production cost. Compare that to a brand like Brioni, where 24 hours of skilled labor at Italian artisan wages alone accounts for a meaningful share of the retail price before you even factor in materials, real estate, and overhead. The two products are sold within a few $100s of each other on the same boutique shelf. They are not the same product. The luxury menswear industry has spent 50 years convincing men that paying more equals getting more. The court records out of Milan and a 3-second pinch test on the chest of any jacket prove that's no longer reliably true. If you are shopping at the budget end, under $500, assume the jacket is fully fused. That is fine. You are paying fast fashion prices for fast fashion construction, and if you wear it twice a year for a wedding circuit, it will do the job. If you are spending between $500 and $1,500, the dangerous middle, pinch the jacket. Half canvas at this price is genuinely good value. Full fused construction at this price is the actual scam. And if you are spending over $2,000, and you should only be spending over $2,000 if you wear a suit weekly, then you have every right to demand full canvas construction, hand-padded lapels, and a brand that can document where its garments were assembled. That includes houses like Tom Ford and Ermenegildo Zegna, both of which position themselves in the upper tier of luxury menswear, and both deserve the same scrutiny. Some houses can document their construction. Many of the loudest names cannot. A $5,000 suit is not always a scam, but until you have checked the seams, the pinch, and the paper trail, you have absolutely no way of knowing whether you bought a piece of RT or a piece of glued fabric with a famous name printed inside the collar. This is the luxury meltdown. If you want to see what happens when we autopsy the next big name in luxury menswear and tailoring, hit subscribe.